about amplifying the voices of those who have historically been left out of the conversation. As we approach our third anniversary this summer, the problem with talk radio in Southern California specifically, and America more broadly, is virtually unchanged. All day, all night, all white. We make no apologies for our prime audience, but true to the best of our tradition, we're committed to expanding justice and freedom for all. So when we receive messages from listeners like Neil, we just smile.
I realize that I'm not your target demographic, but I love listening to your station as it is the only progressive station on the dial.
That's us. Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
With Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Little Jaheim for you. That deep, deep voice. They used to compare him to Teddy Pendergrass back in the day or something like that. I cannot recall. Jaheim dropped early 2000, right? With the braids. Could It Be was my song though. Could it be the I see? You know the thing about Just In Case? Whenever it comes on, I always think that it's wifey. And then I'm like, no, listen to the intro. It has the exact same intro as Wifey. And obviously, Jaheim was produced by, what's the guy, KG from Naughty by Nature, and he had something to do with Next, I believe, too. So I believe that, they shared the beat. Because I'm telling you, when it comes in, it could be Wifey or it could be Just In Case. Listen, check it out.
It might be the same producers, maybe. Considering KG, same camp, I can see that.
Yeah, check it out. That's what I believe. I could be wrong, but that is what I think. Listen, thank you for clocking into Hour 3 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Of course, we're playing Jaheim, the throwback. 24 years? Wow. So, Jaheim recently reappeared on social media. It's time. Time has passed. So he looks a little different, yet the same. But he's announced that he's coming back with new music. And so we've seen Nas come back out and drop a couple albums back to back as an older rapper. Obviously, it's a little easier when we're talking about R&B and things. Why are you laughing, Andy? We never heard of 50-year-old rappers until recently. Think about it. I watched that Run DMC docuseries, Kings from Queens. When they came back with their comeback single, when they were washed and they told them they were out of the game, what is it? Beats to the Rhyme? Or no. That's not the name of it. Beats to the Rhyme is how it starts off. Down with the King. That's what I'm talking about. Down with the King. They were washed. Those guys were only 30. So it's changed.
No, I'm just saying, Nas actually dropped a lot of albums. Not a little, a lot of albums, actually.
I mean, and he said he would, and obviously hip hop is a little different as far as the game plan, but we ship are older R&B artists off to parts unknown too, parts of the internet where, think about this. Who is, name me 3 male R&B singers right now.
Right now,
Right now that are hot right now.
Usher.
Usher, no.
Oh,
'Cause
he's yesteryear.
no, he's hot right now, but he's over 40. I'm saying who are, can't count our old classics. Like we know it's SZA, it's Summer Walker, it's we have a good little cluster of female R&B singers. Females are running R&B right now. But I don't feel like we have that same, on the other side as far as the males are, that we're like, yeah, they're coming up. Yeah, I've been in their corner. I mean, there are guys out there like Lucky Day,
That's exactly
Bison,
what I was thinking about.
things like that. But I feel like even with them,
They not popping like that.
not even just that they're not popping, but I feel like people don't consider Lucky Day, like he's like alternative R&B to some.
That's unfortunate.
Do you agree? Not that it is that, but that is how he's kind of categorized.
That's my point. That's unfortunate
Yeah.
because he's like a throwback in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I guess people think, what's his name, Blast, or
Yeah.
no disrespect to Kalen for real, but they looking at them like they're
Rod
R&B
Wave.
artists. Rod Wave, T Fly. They looking at them like they R&B artists.
And so, I mean, and to me, they are kind of in the Ja Rule mode, right? Because there's singing rapper, like Rod Wave. Do you consider him R&B, or what do you consider him?
I don't even listen to Rod Wave, so I
I'm
wouldn't
just-
even know. I can't.
Just hypothetical, but I see his name a lot or whatever.
Because I hear where you're going, because like for Blast, for example, like I hear him doing a lot of collaborative work with hip hop artists, right? So I get a hip hop vibe from him, even though he's really just singing.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear you with the Ja Rule, breakdown.
But I'm just saying, so here's the thing. When you think about where you're likely to put Blast on a playlist or stuff like that, I feel like I understand really well the Summers, the SZAs, even, you're off to the left, not quite urban, but kind of pop Dojas. Like, I understand how those women line up and how they line up sonically with what the audience is looking for. With the men, I feel like it's a bit trickier. Like, you think of someone like Tank, and Tank is kind of in that adult contemporary lane, but should he be? And I don't even know. I think it has to do with how the genre is shifting and how, like, in the late 90s, early 2000s, we took on more hip hop in our music and the blend came together,
The R&B is more aggressive
Facts.
than what it used to be. You know what I mean? It's definitely straightforward. There's no, romanticization of, the audio aspect. Is just straightforward. I'm about to give you this whatever that I have under my pants, as opposed to turn off the lights. And
Right.
light
There's no
candles.
wooing. There's no
wooing,
courting.
none of that.
There's no begging. There's no,
Can I
I've
get
had,
a woo, woo? There's none of that.
sleepless nights. None of that stuff. Me and Mrs. Jones, love and happiness. There's no love in the music. Kendi mentioned Frank Ocean. Frank has not put out any music in an extremely long time. So, though happily we could slot him in there, he hasn't given us anything in a very, very long time. Like Chris Brown. Can't believe I forgot about Chris Brown. What do you consider Chris Brown?
R&B.
Okay.
He's R&B. He's that. I consider him somewhat still of a throwback.
I think Chris has a good mix. Well, part of
He's
that
balanced.
is because he puts 30 songs on each album.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
But I think he has the advantage because he's kind of been independent and because he was shunned for a little bit. He's been able to play in areas musically and the way that he rolls out his music that maybe he couldn't have if, things didn't happen and that night altered. Wow, it's almost been
Well, he got a machine
14,
behind him
15
as well,
years.
too.
True indeed, but I mean, I'm just saying he's because of the situation, it allowed him the creativity to take chances and to, try different things. Like Chris Brown was one of the first ones to jump on Afro beats. Now everybody has an Afrobeat song, right? But Chris was embracing it years.
What song?
What was the song? He was one of the first. What was the song?
Is it on his album?
I feel like it was on an album, or did he jump on something with somebody? I know there was a video for it. He was one of the earlier ones. Yep.
It wasn't Drake, or did they not hop on the Afro beats vibe around the same time? Because I feel like when Afro beats kind of, risen up or whatnot, literally everybody decided to jump on like an Afro beats type track.
I feel like that came after we saw who had the big one first. I
know Drake had the
what, Controller?
Controller, that was one.
Yeah.
Is that Controller?
But do we or no, not Controller? What's the other one? It's same thing with that. I'm not sure. I think that Chris Brown was one of the ones to step out early with it.
Okay, another artist that I'm thinking of, but I don't think he's popping like that. But Jacquees.
We're gonna talk about Jacquees. I got a Jacquees story that we're going to talk about when we come forward, in addition to the Drake leak and a couple of other things. I'm glad you brought up Jacquees. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right.
Yeah.
La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So I appreciate Andy so much. He pulled up for me the 10 times that Chris Brown collaborated with Afrobeats artists. And no, I like this. I was right. 2016 was his first collaboration. He did a song with Wizkid, Trey Songz, and French Montana called Shabba. Shout out to Shabba Ranks. That was one of the first. One Dance is the song that I couldn't think of that also was with Controlla. And everybody went crazy for One Dance. So that was Drake, though, not Chris Brown. That was Drake. But I feel like these are kind of mirroring around the same time frame. And I definitely remember Chris jumping on that wave, or I shouldn't say jumping on that wave, but getting involved in it pretty early. And he's consistently worked with like some Nigerian artists and a couple others. I feel like he's been in there. And I remember the Davido song. So, you know, shout out to Chris Brown. I will give him that. I feel like he was in there early, committed to it, and picked good ones. Because some people, they hop on an Afrobeats track and you're just like, that probably wasn't for you. I appreciate the effort, but I think you should rock back with what you're used to. At any rate, listen, speaking of Drake, right? If you were on social media earlier today, there were all types of trending topics saying Drake leak. Now, naturally, Drake's on tour right now. My assumption was Drake leak. Oh, it's some music. Let's go check it out. It was not, in fact, music. Apparently, a video is circulating that is allegedly Aubrey Graham. In the video, an individual that looks very similar to Aubrey Graham is in a bed, undressed from the waist down, and the bed looks very similar to what we've seen of Drake's private plane, because, you know, he has a private, like, some huge plane. I don't want to get the numbers wrong and overdo it, but, you know, it's real life. And so the video has been circulating online, and it's causing a bit of a stir. In it, Drake is having quality time. Well, alleged Drake. We don't know the person's identity at this point. But they're having some quality time with themselves. And the video clip has already gotten people on TikTok to do their own imitation versions of the video, using various objects to mimic Drake's manhood and what is happening in the clip. It's a key. You know, what is the song? I love Batch. That's my problem. What is the name of that song, Andy? You know which one I'm talking about? It's him and
Effing Problems.
Right. Okay, so in that song, there's a verse of Drake's. And he says something about, I think it is the end of his second verse, maybe, or maybe he only has one verse on there. But he says, I'm the long eggplant. Yeah.
Beast.
Beast. I love Bat. And apparently, if you check out this video, Drake told y'all a few years back what it was hidden for. And maybe people didn't believe him, but now they have physical evidence. Somebody. Look, here is the next crazy thing about this, okay?
I wish I'd turned my Twitter off at that time. It was too late. It was like the first thing.
Right. You couldn't even, I'm telling you, I didn't even look out. My mind immediately went to, oh, it's music, or, you know, maybe he posted. It was not. You know, some people said, oh, he released that so that you guys would stop focusing on his BBL scars. Look, I didn't say it. That's what the people had said, right? I don't know. However, what I do know is that Drake seems to have a good sense of humor about it. Maybe, right? Maybe. He hasn't responded publicly to any of it. However, we know that he has a good friendship, as all the rappers seem to right now, with one of the streamers. His name is Aiden Ross, right? And so Aiden, who we're also going to talk about in a little bit, um, Aiden left a voice message for Drake. And Drake then sent him a text message with laughing emojis back. Basically, what Aiden said is, I'm still live, bro. Was just looking at the stuff. It's like crazy, bro. Like, dang. You're blessed with your voice. You're blessed with performing. You're blessed to be you. You're blessed to be number one. And you're blessed to have a freaking missile. So that's what Aiden had said. And Drake sent back like 8 laughing emojis. So, maybe true. Maybe Drake is just laughing at the joke. Who really knows? Adam22 responded to the video that Aiden put out there and said, you know what? We could have collaborated on this statement. You are taking my language and using it and applying it to Drake. This new era, very different. Very, very different. Couldn't believe I was seeing that conversation play out on social media, but it did. So shout out to Drake for being a trooper. Remember, here's the other thing to remember, and this is serious. As much as I'm joking and we're having a laugh out of this, male or female, it is wrong to drop somebody's nudes, especially if someone sent you that as a gift. Don't do that. It's not right. It's also a crime. So revenge porn is a crime. Remember that too. I'm curious to see what's going to happen, because I would think that you're going to know exactly who you sent that video to, right? If it's you, Drake. And, you would have some words from them, something. I don't know. But shout out to Drizzy. Champagne Poppy. We will see what happens next. All right, speaking of Aiden Ross, I made mention last night that 21 Savage has been accused of cheating Aiden out of $250,000 when they were playing a game of cards on Aiden's live stream recently. So the clip was spread all over social media, and the two were sitting at a table playing cards. 21 was down $400K. He came back $200,000. And I guess as he was getting ready to make a play, I don't know what game they were playing. I don't know if it was poker, whatever they were playing. Just know they were playing cards. But as 21 was thinking about apparently which card he was going to pick up, Ross checked out the live stream, Aiden. And some of the people in the comments were talking about a particular card on the table. And they basically said, I think you need to look at those cards. We think 21 and his friend are cheating. The cards are marked. So they went through the whole process and looked at the cards, and they proceeded to check them. And 21 and his people were surprised by the cards being marked, allegedly. But people are saying they weren't and that 21's trying to hustle them. Some other people are saying that none of it is true and that it's just a way to get attention on the stream and that they're just trying to start a controversy. But Aiden Ross allegedly, well, not allegedly, he said on the stream that he didn't believe that 21 would cheat him. He didn't accuse his friend outright of cheating him, but they did agree to cancel the bet, so there was no money exchanged, and they did not solve the mystery of how those cards ended up there together marked. So I don't know what's going on. If somebody was playing, this is the second stream that 21 was on where there was card playing for money involved. He was on Kai Cenat's, is that how you say his last name? I believe his live stream, and Kai lost a great deal of money to him. So some are implying that 21 is going around scamming the streamer bros. I don't know. You need to maybe open up a fresh pack. It's so crazy where we are as far as some of these things, because you're just going to these random guys' spots or houses. I mean, I get it, they're big streamers, just to do regular stuff with them like they're your pals. The media trail's got to be hard for an artist these days, because you got to do so much more. Well, listen, it is almost time, just in a few short hours. The next Club Shay Shay will be dropping. Of course, that's Shannon Sharp's interview series on YouTube. And his next guest is none other than Miss Monique. Listen, so far it's been the year of truth, right? We've had a lot of revelations come out, a lot of daggers dropped. So I'm curious what's going to be. We know Monique will always speak her mind. And I'm just curious to see what type of conversation the two of them get involved with. We know Shannon's team does their research. They load him up with notes. I'm pretty sure Monique probably won't have any areas that she is going to not let him get into. But I wonder how Shannon moves, knowing that not only are all eyes on him at this moment, but also that, there are some envious ones, some angry ones, some people that are looking at who are you having on, who are they dissing, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just curious to see how it all comes down. Andy?
Steven Jackson was one of the haters.
He was one of the haters, and Shannon, and it was so sad because I remember they just, one way or the other, I don't remember which way, either he was on All the Smoke podcast
Shannon
not
was
too
on
long.
All the Smoke.
Yeah, and everything was all good, and then here comes, I think Steven is at a weird place post-career right now. All the Smoke was one of the early podcasts. They had a lot of success. And then, things started changing. A lot of other things started happening. And, now, not that we're at the end of the way, but there's new kids on the block. And they're getting some different attention. So Showtime Sports is no more. So they had to go and get another deal. There's lots of betting companies out there that'll supply them. But I think Steven Jackson is an interesting case study because his bad boy, I'm holding it down for forever kind of thing. You're over 40 now, kind of doesn't hit the same. And I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Listen, when we come forward, more trending topics and headlines. As always, you were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and Sports is on the other side.
Haven't I made you feel so special? As your man, I've held your hand, never letting go. Let you hold the keys to the Lexus. We drive, gave you all you need and want as long as I'm alive. Even from the heavens up above, I'll shine out all. Too much is never enough. Ooh, you're all I want. Even when I'm gone, the love will carry on. It's just that strong, so just
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The former director of the Houston, Texas City Council Relations will spend a year and a day in federal prison. William Paul Thomas admitted guilt in court in connection to a conspiracy involving cash bribes that the government says he took in 2022. Prior to a formal indictment, Thomas, who is black, admitted he accepted the bribe in return for illegally altering a bar's classification to a restaurant, allowing it to stay open longer during COVID. New York State GOP leaders are calling on Governor Kathy Hochul to remove Manhattan's DA. In a letter to the governor, State Senate Minority Leader Rob Ort and 19 other GOP state senators are demanding Alvin Bragg's removal due to his mishandling of the recent attack on 2 NYPD officers by a gang of migrants in Times Square. The letter argues Bragg, who is black, has consistently thumbed his nose at crime victims, turned his back on police, and selectively prosecuted criminals for political reasons only. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Progressive Insurance is making it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
You like your style, guy?
At KBLA Talk 1580, we are unapologetic about amplifying the voices of those who have historically been left out of the conversation. As we approach our third anniversary this summer, the problem with talk radio in Southern California specifically, and America more broadly, is virtually unchanged. All day, all night, all white. We make no apologies for our prime audience, but true to the best of our tradition, we're committed to expanding justice and freedom for all. So when we receive messages from listeners like Neil, we just smile.
I realize that I'm not your target demographic, but I love listening to your station as it is the only progressive station on the dial.
That's us. Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Watch out! You got me! The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Take a look at me. Tell me, do you like what you see? Do you think you can? Do you think you can do me? Kiss me, pretty baby. Touch me all over.
Girl, what makes you think you can deal with me? Do you think you can do me? Yeah. Do you think you can do me? Yeah, that's it. Girl, let your head down. Take off your clothes and leave on your shoes. Would you mind if I looked at you for a moment?
We're about to hear how different hip hop is right now. And go.
Backstage, underage adolescent. How you doing? Fine. She replied, hi, side. I like to do the one thing. Action took place. Hey, kinda wet. Come on, don't forget the J, the M, the M, the Y, yo. I need a body bag.
Welcome back into hour 3 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to BBD, Do Me Baby. We know that Busta Rhymes actually wrote that lyric in the song for them, the Backstage Underage line. And they've kind of gotten some flack for that as of late, but people kind of just bypass it, you know. It's interesting to me because, again, there's a lot of conversations, a lot of grooming, and that's what that was. Not that I feel that BBD was doing anything inappropriate back in the day, but what I will tell you, and there's actually a video I started to play one day, but I was just like, you know what, no. There was a woman who ended up on live with Chris Brown. Well, I shouldn't say a woman. She was a young lady. She was about 17 years old, and she was very excited, and she was like, I would do anything to get to see you or spend some time with you, anything. And Chris was like, you know, calm down. That's not needed or whatever. But when we have these conversations, and again, Chris did the appropriate action, but if people have those type of feelings and they're in places where maybe they shouldn't be or their age isn't necessarily apparent, crazy things happen. At any rate, Andy brought up Jacquees, and there is a Jacquees story that is floating out in the world, and I thought, listen, let's talk about it. So Jacquees is currently dating, I think they actually have a child on the way, Deion Sanders' oldest daughter, DeAndrea, right? And so previously, Jacquees was dating a girl named Dreezy. I'm not sure if Dreezy is a singer or a rapper, but she's out there. Well, Dreezy and DeAndrea had a little battle, a little back and forth on X today, and it got a little crazy, a little revealing. My feelings might have been a little bit hurt. I don't know, but all of these public battles, I don't do it. I don't like it. You're not going to be out there publicly embarrassing me, and I'm absolutely not going to publicly embarrass myself in the name of I checked a chick. You should not be having a conversation like that publicly, especially over something that I believe to be mine. But let me give you some of the details. DeAndrea tweeted, "Obsessed is when you still sending underwear with your face on it to the crib." Dreezy tweeted, these are subtweets by the way, "Obsessed is y'all having a baby on the way, but him begging to get me pregnant because he barely messed with you, bird brain." So then there was something about Dreezy sending Jacquees a package, and he wanted to see her in person to get this package, right? But the nail in the coffin was Dreezy saying, "Oh, is this your BD?" And he sent a bunch of text messages. Boy. It was so much easier for men to cheat and lie, people to cheat and lie back in the day. No text messages, no real. You had to be doing a whole lot to get that real physical proof. Even if you took a picture, you had to go and get the film developed, wait 24 an hour, whatever it was at the time period. That takes time and money. Not now. Dreezy shared a text message where allegedly Jacquees is saying that Dreezy is his true love. He does not want DeAndrea, that kids do not define a family, that he told Dreezy he wanted to get her pregnant, but she said no. And so he was like, I love you and I want to be with you. And I'm coming to see you. But as I mentioned, DeAndrea is pregnant right now. So Dreezy added, why are you turning up on me? I turn your man down every day for you, and this is the thanks I get. She also said, at this point, she might as well be my daughter. I just gave her life today. So the question that is being asked by social media users, and I'll admit me a little bit too, DeAndrea, do you know who your dad is? Do you remember that your dad is Deion Sanders, former NFL legend Deion Sanders, current Colorado Buffaloes coach Deion Sanders? How you going out sad for Jacquees when there are all of these available men that are at your disposal to at least meet? Don't be on the internet going out like that, girl. Clean it up. Be better. No, I'm just playing. I hope that they work out whatever issues they are going through. I just wish, I really don't think people, and it's crazy to me because we have been deep off into social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, all of that for almost 20 years at this point. Real heavy since at least 2009, 2010, the wild west days of Twitter. We all know how this works. I don't understand, did DeAndrea not think how, because she's about to have a child, a daughter, did she not think how she felt when her dad and her stepmother were going through all of their stuff publicly and what her siblings felt? I don't know. I just want you guys to think, not you guys personally, but in general, just a little bit more about what we're doing as far as social media and the lasting effects of it. Because, listen, we cry and complain that our feelings are hurt for just about everything, but somehow we lose all sense of that either in the comments or when we're on a kick. Not all of us, some of us, and never me, because I don't believe in putting my business out there for public consumption to judge. I'll just keep it to myself. At any rate, listen, that's what's going on with Jacquees. I don't know if he can be the king of R&B if he can't keep his castle under control. So that's another thing. But, you know, a man in between two women and yearning, that's always been good for R&B music. Maybe he'll make a hit out of it. Maybe we'll get a hit album or something from Jacquees based on heartache, heartbreaks, and all the other things. Listen, when we come forward, I have a story for you about an employee that helped scammers by accident because of AI to $26 million from his job, all because he was fooled by a deep fake in AI. We'll get into that on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Try Venus for pubic hair and skin, the razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area. Featuring a razor with patent irritation defense bar and skin care regimen that is dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Discover the full regimen of products at GilletteVenus.com.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast. With a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-DO.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Listen up, City of Los Angeles renters that live in rent-controlled units. Landlords can now increase your rent by 4%. Know these 3 facts. The rent increase is allowed February 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. An extra 1% per utility up to 6% can be added if the landlord pays the entire gas and electric bill. And illegal rent increase complaints can be filed at housing.lacity.org. Check if you live in a rent-controlled unit and learn more at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, KBLA Talk 1580 is your election information station, and we just released our first ever survey of Black LA County voters. The groundbreaking results highlight a wide open LA County District Attorney's race, plus the Black community's views on crime, criminal justice, and other key issues that are not being addressed by the DA candidates. So to see the unique results of our very first political poll of likely Black voters in LA County, hit up the website, KBLA1580.com. And while you're there, make sure you check out the rundown of all the candidates that we've interviewed here at the station to date. And take a moment and fill out our climate justice survey. Okay? No station in Southern California is going to be covering the most important election of recent time. They're all the most important. But seriously, participate, get involved. The local elections are the ones that really impact your day to day. They are the ones that have to do with whether or not the streets are getting cleaned up, whether those potholes are taken care of, where your tax dollars are going. So get involved. You have a problem with all of the thievery that's going on. You know, we voted to not have bail for certain misdemeanor crimes and the crime for theft and things like that. So you got to be involved. You got to realize what you're going through. And the best way to stay informed this election season and always is right here with KBLA Talk 1580. So listen, we talked about Jaheim earlier, but I forgot to play the snippet of the song. So we're going to check out this Jaheim clip and see if you were feeling and anticipating new music from him.
Turn over to Remy, matching fur coats and Remy, from the bus to a Bentley with a closet full of shoes, yeah. Then our smiles turn to frowns, I'm turning down. I don't know where we're going now. I think about it more than once in a while. Started out like Bobby Whitney, Justin Whitney. Then it all got ugly. If it weren't for the money, they said I started to worry. But what's wrong with you? Then the good turns to bad. Forgot what we had. Is it too late to get it back? Hey, think about it more than once in a while. In a while. Falling star. Hey. The child don't know how to get over her smile. I wonder what she's doing now. I think about it, every once in a while.
Well, it certainly sounds like, old school R&B. Jaheim's voice hasn't lost a step. He sounded good. Obviously, that's a rough copy, but he sounded really good. Sounds like classic R&B. Are we going to be checking for it, though? Does it fit into the current music landscape? Does that even matter because we're in a streaming era where things move differently, different boxes can be checked? I'm curious to see what happens with it. Probably not much, just because if he doesn't have some backing behind him, it's going to disappear into the abyss. And that's the sad thing. Like, as great as it is that a lot of the gates have been moved out of the way and the barriers to entry as far as music and getting your music out there, it's much, much easier. It's much cheaper than it was in years past. But because of that, that means that there's so much more music available, and you got to sift through a lot of frogs to get that Prince as far as tracks are concerned, just because the sheer volume of music that is being put out now. And, people don't edit anymore because it's like, hey, I could just throw a song out, see what happens. Maybe you like it, maybe not. We could delete that off the servers and it never existed. Prester John in the chat says, amazing classic voice, but Jaheim tore a whole radio station back east when they asked him if he was gay. Well, I mean, considering the time when that happened, if that, I'm not doubting your story, Prester John. We always gonna put the alleged on there. It was a different era. And, now an artist, a black male artist could come out, and not saying that everyone has shaken loose of their homophobia, but it's a different climate currently. An artist could effectively survive that right now, or just say, hey, I'm pan, I'm queer, I'm bi-curious, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of things that can fall in there. And I have no idea what Jaheim's sexual, habits involve. Just saying. But back then, you didn't have that option. You were boxed in. I mean, think about Luther Vandross. I think a lot of people recognize that Luther probably wasn't singing to young ladies, and we didn't care, but at the same time, he still could not be his true self as far as an artist goes. And so we'll have to see. We will be waiting to see what happens. Good luck, Jaheim. Maybe he can link up with someone and they can help him out. Okay, there's an employee that worked for a Hong Kong office of a multinational company, right? This employee accidentally transferred almost $26 million to scammers last month after he attended a video conference call with a bunch of deep fakes of their coworkers, right? Including a deep fake of the company's chief financial officer. The particular employee was the only actual human that attended the call. The fake participants were all impersonated by the help of artificial intelligence. Scammers found publicly available video and audio of all of the key executives that they wanted to use for the scam, right? They found it via YouTube, different things, and they used deep fake technology to impersonate their voices. And obviously, they had the AI fakes as far as the physical things in the call. And so they convinced the employee to follow their instructions. And he didn't question because it was his chief financial officer as one of the individuals asking him to make the transfers, right? They introduced themselves to the group. The video conference, he said, looked like real people that he worked with. And so basically they had him make a total of 15 transactions to 5 local banks, and it totaled almost 200 million Hong Kong dollars, which is basically 26 million American dollars. The employee only realized that it was a scam days later after he independently reached out to the company's head office about a week after it happened. Can you imagine? The company got scammed. No way to get it back because, with wire transfers, once it's gone, and it's just a wrap. So, listen, shout out to that employee. I hope that obviously, you can't fire them because it's not their fault. But you think about what happened with the deep fakes of Taylor Swift that were on social media last month. You think about some of the other things we heard a few months back, that there were songs, AI songs using Drake or Ye's voice. And really, we're going to be at the point soon where you're not going to be able to trust your own ears or eyes. I think legislation is imperative when it comes to the AI space. I think that anyone who is not taking it seriously is making a mistake because it's going to impact all of our lives in various ways, good and bad. But with something like this, how can you verify that? If you see yourself on the phone in a video conference with your boss or your coworkers and they're speaking to you, what are you to think? Don't know. Listen, thank you for tapping in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Make sure that you are right back here tomorrow night and every night, 9 p.m. Pacific time, for more trending topics, some more headlines, more. We appreciate you as always. Coming up, when we come forward, the best of KBLA. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Have an amazing night.
I don't really know what the problem is, but I guarantee y'all want me to start. Never finna check me. Every chance you get, bitch, all week wanna dress me. Swear they cheat, but the G must stay